Welcome once again to Hope Center Online and a message of faith. This is a little bit different today. I am usually in a studio delivering this message, but today we have company. Today we're celebrating the 13th annual Biker Service and Blessing. It's a service we started in our little church, the country church in Debert, Nova Scotia, and then continued when I moved to the church in Pugwash. But today, and for the very first time, we're going to host our very first worship service in Hope Center. Is it a church? Well, yes and no. The Hope Center is not a church. It's just a building, but a building where people gather. And today, it's a gathering of people, and make no mistake about it, a gathering of people that's a church. You see, all of us, we are the church. We're the body of Christ, the ever-growing revolutionary movement of God's love across His creation, right across His kingdom. I can't think of a better group of people to celebrate with today, a better group of people who truly understand that the building, any building, no matter how big, no matter how ornate, it's not a church. It's not a church, at least, until it has a gathering of people ready to worship. And whether you're part of a ride group, a motorcycle club, or a ministry like the Christian Motorcyclists Association, you get it. You understand that when people band together in a common cause, you become, stronger, individually and collectively. You become brothers and sisters in your joint pursuit. And some of you here today are in the CMA. It's a personal ministry. Others are here because you share a common interest. You may be firefighters in the Red Knights. You may be peace officers from the Blue Knights. Perhaps you're from the armed forces as a veteran with the Defenders. And there's even a motorcycle group called BACA, Bikers Against Child Abuse. There's a motorcycle group, club, ride group for every walk of life and every interest. There are many, many groups, in fact. Most to serve your community, yes, or perhaps a need in the greater community, like BACA that I just mentioned. You're represented by your colors with us today. Indeed, there's only two such of these in the entire world. You wear them proudly. All of you do. And I thank you for your commitment. And I ask God to bless you in your service, in your ministry on the road. Your effort, you see, is making a difference. Ask them at the IWK. Ask them at the children's burn camp. Ask the pastors around the world who have been supported by the generosity of the CMA, those pastors who were given motorcycles so they could better and easier reach the people in countries where the road systems are not built, where people actually live. And many times you've given motorcycles, dirt bikes, even on occasion a horse or two. And I know of one, an artificial leg, helping pastors to get to their churches. Also, ask those people in China and other repressive regimes who now have, I guess we'll call it a secret Bible, a book that gives them comfort and knowledge, the knowledge of love in a world of hate. You know, I know you've made a difference. You know too, I'm sure, in your heart. In the last 13 years since we've been getting together like this, I've seen a difference in the community, in our narrow focused world in which we live here in Nova Scotia. And I remember when I accepted the call to be a pastor in Debert. I was only there a few weeks and I began hearing the buzz of the community, the gossip machine, if you will. People were talking about this new pastor, and they were spreading the word, saying things like, he has a beard, and he rides a motorcycle. Boy, I can't tell two more compelling reasons to want to go to church. These are truly important things that sets one life apart in a hurting world. And then again, I suspect you might truly believe that if more people rode a bike, this would be a much better world, and you could be right. But I'll tell you this. If you could take your love of motorcycles, if you could take your love of the freedom that you feel on the open road, if you could translate the bond of brotherhood and sisterhood that you hold in your heart, that would definitely make a huge difference and make the world much better. There are far too many people out there who feel both oppressed and depressed. Far too many who feel literally hopeless. Too many who feel no connection anymore with family, no connection with community. They need the sense of brotherhood and sisterhood. They need to feel just wanted. They need to feel that there's a purpose in their lives, a reason for being, a reason for simply living. They need to feel loved. That's the key. And let's be honest here. Let's be brutally, maybe even painfully honest here. Being a biker might address some of that, but riding a motorcycle does not fix a broken world. Red Knights bringing joy to burn victims at a kids' camp. That's wonderful, no question. Blue Knights mending relationships in the hard part of town, perhaps. That's heartwarming. Toy runs that fill children's hospitals with teddy bears might nearly burst your heart, to be sure. But all of these things, all of them, as good as they are all temporary. All of these things are simply short-term. The world needs more, because all of these things are gone when you're gone. When your club stops riding there, when your club stops doing and giving and being, when your club is gone. The world demands a constant serving of attention, a constant serving of care. The world needs people who give, the people who meet needs out there, who fill needs out there, who understand the needs are never fully filled. You can't do it all. And above all, the world needs love. I'm not talking about a song here, although there is a beautiful song titled that. And I thank you. I thank you all, each and every one of you, for the love that you give. But that is not the love that I'm talking about. As important as your love is, who's going to provide it after you're gone? Who's going to care for your cause when you leave this earth? The world needs love, a love that will outlast the world. The need will continue. And it's a love that's already here. It's been here all along. A love that's been with us since the very beginning of time. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about God's love. God's love. Now, I know that some of you here might be thinking, well, here he goes. He's finally getting to the main point. And I know with this message going out to the world from Hope Center Online, I know there are probably some of you that are reaching for the off button right about now. But be honest, I said. Be brutally honest, I said. The world, our world, needs love today more than any other time in history. I'm not talking about your love. I'm not talking about the love that offers a helping hand. I'm not talking about the love that writes a check, the love that gives to the food bank, the love that offers some warmth, the love that responds to a call, the love that gives a handshake, or maybe better still, a hug. I'm talking about the love that offers all of those things and more, all wrapped together. I'm talking about the love of God. I'm talking about the love that is freely given, the love that surrounds us all, whether we see it or not, whether we feel it or not, whether we know it or not. It's there. It's obvious to some in the heart. That's when you'll know. Again, I'm talking about the love of God, a love that you must seek, a love you must ask for. But know this, and you know it. You've heard it. Seek and you will find. Ask and you'll receive. It's the love that God built into our hearts when He created us. A love that is His, that we're made in His likeness. A love that's His, but that's instilled in us when He gave us His breath, our breath of life. Love gone cold in our world, thanks to greed, thanks to envy perhaps. Love pushed aside by hate, by people who want to control the world for their own personal gain. But let's not leave it there. Let's not suggest that we surrender to the world. Because you know, in your heart, you know that the world will not prevail. You know it. You've heard the stories, the truth. The cemeteries are full of people who thought they could live forever. Or maybe to be more honest, the cemeteries are full of people who thought they could live just a little bit longer to finally get around to doing something about whatever it is their heart had been talking to them about. People who thought their way was a better way. The cemeteries are full of people who are yet to see the final chapter, the chapter where we all, each and every one of us, must stand before God, stand before our Maker, the one who created us. And the chapter is told in His book of life, the book full of prophecies, full of predictions that the truth of history has already taught us most have come true. Hear me now. You can go back to that book and you can count them and check them and highlight them and underline them, and then a little later in your reading you'll see, oh, check, done, another one, done. Predictions of the future, most of which have verifiably come true. True. And given the hundreds and hundreds of predictions that all came true, why would we not trust the few predictions that remain in that book? There's just a handful now of what's yet to come, and all that came before have proven to be true. Why would we give up now? Why not take a second look at those predictions of what's in your future, knowing that all the other ones came true and these ones, they're just later in coming? Yes, my friends, I call you my brothers and sisters as well. Brothers and sisters on two wheels, let's say. Thank you for caring. I know you do. Thank you for serving. Thank you for loving. But let's take it up a notch. Let's lift it from where it's been. Lift it from what you've done to date. Let's take it up a notch. Let's not take our love to the cemetery. No. Let's take our love to the future. Let's embrace God's love, the ultimate love, the everlasting love, and let's take it not to the cemetery. Let's take it to eternity. The love that lasts. Do you want to hear a little more about people who deliver the good news of God's love on a motorcycle? Well, we have more in store today. Join us for our Maritime Radio Talk Show this afternoon at 3 o'clock. It's a live radio talk show. And our guest today is Ken Sullivan. He's the president of the Nova Scotia chapter of the Christian Motorcyclists Association, which is really just a small part of a group that's reaching throughout the world now these days. And Let's Talk is on the Inspire FM network right across the 3 maritime provinces, plus our own internet radio, which you can hear right on our website at hopecenter.ca. Join the community conversation this afternoon at 3 o'clock. But meanwhile, please come back again next week. Come back to Hope Center Online, 11 o'clock Atlantic time, next Sunday morning. We'll have another faith message that's fit for the times. And you can watch it and hear it on YouTube, on Facebook, and especially on our own website, hopecenter.ca, right on the homepage. But as always, until then, I'll be praying for you as I ask God simply to bless you here today and forevermore. Amen.